Welcome to Lore Drop, a new series here at Eligible Monster, in which I'll be going over whatever interesting lore related to video games that I found interesting this week. You see, when this channel got started, we did it based upon giving you complete stories and lore for various video games, and we kind of want to get back to that. But since this channel is primarily a fun hobby for the staff on it, we decided that we would do lore for games that we found interesting. So let me know in the comments down below what lore you're interested in finding out about next, and I'll see if I'm interested in looking it up. Now today we're going to be covering some Elder Scrolls, which means I'm going to butcher just about everything in here because, you know, they don't pronounce things like normal. Anyway, we're going to talk about the continent of Summerset Isle, as mentioned in just about every Elder Scrolls game since all the way back at Elder Scrolls Arena. And finally, in Elder Scrolls Online, a game that Dan and I are hopelessly addicted to and streaming quite frequently over on our Twitch channel, players now have a chance to explore this ancient land. So what is Summerset Isle? Who are its people? What is its history? Time for that history lesson, everyone. Get comfortable. Please no chewing gum and try to keep your eyes open and save all of your questions to the end of our class. Summerset Isle consists of 14 islands to the southwest of Tamriel. Historically, the island of Urdon is believed to be where the ancient ancestors of the Altmere come from. You know, the High Elves for you uneducated and lower classes. It's supposedly where they made their landfall at Nine Prow Landing. These elves were known as the Aldmere, and depending on who was writing the history books, they are the first people to ever settle in Summerset Isle. However, it is believed by some others that goblins and sloths were there long before them. Let's be honest though, have you seen the goblins? They don't really settle, do they? Once the elves arrived, they quickly pushed inland, and after wiping out the native wildlife, they established their first city, cleverly named Firsthold. This was ancient times. You really didn't have to think hard to come up with names as, you know, nothing was named yet. The elves quickly spread throughout Summerset Isle, and they built great cities like the capital of Olinar, and structures such as the Crystal Tower. The Isles were led by a king and a queen, and the people were split into social classes, with the native goblins serving as slaves. In the first era, the Isles were folded into the Second Empire, which controlled the entirety of Tamriel. The Altmere believed themselves to be a superior race and culture to all others within Tamriel. They feared that outside cultures would infect the Altmere way of life. Because of this, they restricted all movement of foreigners outside of the capital. As the centuries went on, two separate elven empires rose up in the Isles, known as the First and Second Aldmeri Dominions. While both empires would eventually fail, they both had a goal of re-establishing elven dominance over Tamriel. Summerset Isle was the last nation to be brought under the rule of the Third Empire. Emperor Tiber Septim used the Numinidum, which is basically a giant dwarven mecha golem, for those of you who don't understand what I'm trying to say since I mispronounced it most likely, to force the Isles into the Third Empire. At this time, foreign travel within the Isles became more frequent, and the Daedra worship became more prevalent. It is believed that this is why the land was ravaged by the demons stronger than other locations. After the Oblivion Crisis, the Summerset Isles were then overrun by Daedra, and the Altmere made their last stand against the Daedra at the Crystal Tower, yet it wasn't enough and the tower would fall. In the ensuing anarchy, the Thalmor, a radical group within the government who were believed to be nothing more than troublemakers, rose to power, and they established the Third Aldmeri Dominion. This third elven empire had the same goal as the previous two, establishing elven superiority over the land. The Dominion quickly began to spread their influence, and after a successful coup d'etat in the neighboring land of Valenwood, land of the Bosmia, or the Wood Elves for you lesser individuals who probably know how to pronounce it better, the Dominion cut Valenwood from the empire. While Tamriel was still in political turmoil, the Dominion brought war against the Third Empire, nearly wiping it out. After its near destruction, Emperor Titus Mede II signed the White Gold Concordat, surrendering the empire to the Dominion. The treaty outlawed the worship of the god Talos, a god of man and war and the greatest hero of mankind, and allowed the Thalmor to move freely throughout the lands of Tamriel to persecute anyone caught worshipping the outlawed god. At this time, the Aldmeri Dominion all but runs the empire from behind the scenes. And with that information, it's time for a new history to be forged in the ancient land of the elves in Elder Scrolls Online. Okay, is anyone awake with our history lesson? I didn't think so. History can be boring at times, but this stuff's cool, isn't it? Well, anyway, I'm gonna put my head down on the desk and take a quick nap. Nobody wake me until after lunch. If you enjoyed our little lore bomb, let me know in the comments down below. And don't forget, you can also tell me what you think I should be covering next, and I'll look into if I find it interesting. Also, follow us on Twitter at Eligible Monster and give us a little subscription if you enjoyed this, and I'll see you next time right here.